attention, please. I want to get started tonight. Thanks for being here. Just get a... Thank you, folks. My agenda doesn't open. One second. Okay. All right, guys, I want to start tonight with a moment of silence. Again, at the table, folks, one meeting. I want to get this started so we can hand this over to Mark. I just want a moment of silence for a lot of folks, some folks that we've lost, whether through regular sickness or to COVID. We've lost a couple of officials and obviously some friends and family. Just a quick moment of silence for those folks. Thank you. Okay. Second order of business. Can I have a motion to accept the last minutes of June 10th? Can I have a motion on the floor? Accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Guys, while we're doing this too, can I ask you, and I'll do it too, put your phones on mute or vibrate so we can get through this meeting. As some of you would know, I'll just repeat from my remarks. I put.
Vote on it.
I'm sorry.
We need to vote. We need to vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next time. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I didn't get much practice because the last time I saw you guys was 2 years ago. But on that note, I just want to say real quickly, I did put remarks, a letter, not only in the blast, but also on the website, just to review these 2 years that I've done. I just want to basically say two things. One, as every president in the past has always had a wish on their wish list, 1 and 2 items. My main wish is to the commissioners. And I'm an assigner and a commissioner as well. I do BPS middle schools outdoors. I took over for Whitey King back in 2007. Just those commissioners and assigners, give everybody a chance to officiate. New, old, whatever. Just give everybody a chance. Let's just kind of spread that around. And that's my main wish, and has been my wish for these last few years. That we give everybody a chance to officiate. Okay. Secondly, just want to thank some folks. Mainly first of all, the e-board that served with me these last 2 years. I've actually been on the e-board for 8 years. Back in 2013 when we had the marathon bombing, Tommy Marr asked me to come on along with Rich Murray. So I've been on for 8 years, and then I got another year as past president coming on. So I'm ready to move on after this next year. But I want to thank the current e-board and the e-board members that have served during the time that during my 8 years. I want to thank Linda and Steve for coming off the e-board. Again, please, folks, silence your cell phones tonight. Thank you. Also want to thank, obviously, Mark for coming on as president and Kathy as vice president. But flat out, I've got to say this. The person who gets the gold star with me is Dennis Berry. He's been my rock because he's kept me organized. As you guys know, I manage a $145 million building, 115 square feet, and it's keeping me super busy. And over these last 2 years, Dennis has kept me organized and stuff, and Mark and any president after, as long as Dennis is serving as recording secretary, has just been invaluable. And Dennis, I want to thank you. And the rest of the board as well. It's been a pleasure to serve. And then on that note, I want to introduce you to Mark. Mark's going to be taking over now as president. Again, it's been a tough 2 years. I haven't seen very much of you, I got the COVID president, but sure we'll do that. But just as long as people continue to be safe and play safe, and we're all family. So that's the main thing. Without further ado, Mark Young.
Thank you, Steve. Just following up a bit on what Steve was alluding to, the last 2 years obviously have been unprecedented for multiple reasons. And COVID, I guess it's been something over 100 years since historically we had to deal with it. And I don't think any of us were officiating back then. Even though there's some question about the ages of some of us. And then, we had a rupture or a separation or whatever you want to call it with a group, the MSDCA, which bothered a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And again, that fell on Steve to deal with. So that's part of the unprecedented part. So thank you, Steve. And I want to thank all of you for being here. Again, Steve mentioned it earlier, we haven't met in person for the last 2 years. It was 2 years ago this meeting, 2019, when Steve took over as president. And we did have a small gathering in June, the minutes that we all just accepted from the June meeting at the yacht club. Thanks to Irwin having it there. But this is the best showing and the most people that we've had at a meeting in at least 2 years. So thank you all for making the time. I want to thank Rich Hickey for helping us to get this place. Reggie is not available through the end of this month anyway. So getting together in person, I thought, was important because we're all looking forward to having something close to a normal track year, I think. Hopefully we're going to have that, and I think we're all looking forward to it. For me, 40 years ago, I was an assistant attorney general for the Commonwealth. 30 years ago, I was chairman of the NCAA Rules Committee. So what? For me, the rules, whether they be jurisdictional rules of federal or state law, or the rules of the NCAA, the NFHS, USATF, they're all important. So what hopefully we're going to get to do this year is officiate, right? And some of us might need a little practice getting back into it. A lot of us were in some meets in the spring. I was lucky enough to do a couple of conference meets and whatever, but a lot of stuff just didn't happen. High schools did some, we had state meets and so forth. But hopefully this year will be more like normal. So it's incumbent upon us, for the students, for the coaches, of the people that we're going to officiate for, that we know what we're doing. And most of us do know what we're doing, but it depends what rules we're looking at. And I'm just going to use one quick example. A lot of us at one time or another have to officiate field events. The non-vertical jumps, those 6, whether it's indoors or out, when you form your final, I got to be excused because I got to go run the hurdles or a relay or whatever. Can I jump out of order in the finals? The one-word answer is, depends. Heard that over there. High school is one way, college is the other, and it makes a difference. I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have allowed you to miss your turn because I can't do that under the rules. You can't tell the athlete that. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. if you were wrong in doing it in the first place. So, just as a quick thing, what am I working today? A few of us are going to work a college cross-country meet on Saturday in Franklin Park. Maybe the cross-country meets are similar, but just take a quick check of whatever your event is or event area is each time. I still do, because it's easy to get, which am I doing? You know, okay, the high school rule is this, or the college rule is that. Anyhow, that's my little spiel on that. For those people, I'm going to introduce the members of the executive board. So when I call your name, stand up so people can see who you are. So Ann Brandeis, excuse me. Erwin Cohen, who is not here. Tony DeRocha. Tony's here. Rich Murray. Joe Q was going to be here, but he's got COVID, so he's not here. Pat's on the road. Barbara Rosado. Shantae Source, I know she's here. Okay, and the executive branch, I'm president, Steve is past president, Kathleen Doherty is the vice president who's not here, and Donnie, who's going to be up here in a minute, giving the treasurer's report. Those are the 12 members, voting members anyway, of the executive board. Talk to them. That's part of what our job is. Shouldn't just have to be pick on the president, because I'm going to do this. The other ones, okay? So those 12 people, we meet independently of these meetings to talk about ongoing business that comes up. So talk to them. Us. Okay, for the high schools, if you intend to work any of the high school meets, you need to be registered with the MIAA. That's an every year thing. And it started later this year, it started July 15th. But if you're intending to work high school meets, and Michael, you have access to, so commissioners, if you're hiring for your high school leagues, check with Mike to make sure all of you people are registered with the MIAA. Okay, so that leads me to the update on where we are with the Mass State Track Coaches Association. Several of us, meaning MTFOA representatives, and several of them, MSTCA, have met informally, unofficially, and whatever over the last several months. They underwent a restructuring last year, as many of you know. I think that there's a very good chance, or even likelihood, that we'll have something in place for the indoor season. When you looked at the availability sheet, which you didn't get, it was listed as TBA or something like that. And that's what it is. Negotiation is going on. Achiki is our chief negotiator. Matt Fletcher is their Uber coach, is their current president, is no longer have executive director. And discussion is ongoing. And from my end, I'm hopeful, knowing what I know. Not just pray, but actually hopeful. And that's what I have for that. As soon as we have something done, and hopefully done the way we want it, so that Mike is assigning officials for their meets, you all will be the first to know. The next thing should be the Vice President's report, which is, I was the Vice President for the banquet. So I want to thank Erwin for organizing the location, as he's done in the past, except for that one year that we were lucky enough to be in the Bowen building. And the caterer. I want to thank Linda George for spearheading the raffle prizes, as she's done so often in the past. And I thought, given all the circumstances from last year, that it was a nice event. The other thing that I would bring up, I guess, comes under official business. Officials Clinic. I'll talk about that when we get to that. So, Donnie, Treasurer's report.
Because I was so scattered, I didn't pass these out. And you were all at my table. So, just spread them out in your rows, especially your hands. I might have to share a view, but here. Down, pass those down. All right, very quickly, with regard to the treasurer's report, which is what should be slowly making its way around the room. We finished the fiscal year, which is September 30th of 2021, with approximately $71,627, which is up $2,700 from last year. And that is 100% a testament to about 255 people paying their dues last year. And I want to thank you for that, considering we had such a messed up year with not a lot of opportunities to officiate. But thank you very much, and that helps considerably, as you can see. Otherwise, if we have any less than about 250 or 260 pay, we're in trouble of not being able to make any money that year. Not that we're in the business of making money, but it would be nice to not see the numbers go down each and every year, like they were for a few years. So far, 96 people are paid and are current as of this year. Those that decided not to pay their dues last year because of COVID, if you paid me this year, you got credit for it last year. So now you'll have to pay for it this year. I know that's going to make a lot of people angry, but that is what being a dues-paying member of an organization is. You have to keep current every single year. Let's see. The high school rule books are being printed and will be shipped on October 25th. I paid for them a while back, and that's why I don't have them tonight. I'm sure a lot of people came here tonight to get that rule book, but October 25th. So I will have them at the December meeting. And lastly, if you have a question of any kind about the Treasury, whether your dues are current, anything about the Treasury or anything associated with what I do, please feel free to email me. My email is very simple. It's my name, Don Kirkland. No spaces, no periods, nothing. DonKirkland@gmail. All right, that's it. DonKirkland@gmail. Also on my table, which I would invite everyone to come over and grab, on the corner of my table is a 3-page sheet that looks like this. I've gotten a lot of calls and a lot of emails lately with questions about how the organization is run. Do you want me to do this now, Mark, or later?
You're there.
All right. People question what their dues cover, what their dues get them, what their dues don't cover. They're questioning how the organization is structured, how they're run. So the first thing I'd say is please read our bylaws. They're on our website. We have a website for those that don't know, MTFOA.com. Go on there. Our bylaws are there. It's 3 pages long. It won't take long to read. You'll learn everything you need to know about how our organization is run. But very quickly, your dues cover. They cover insurance to help protect you. They will pay for professional development clinics now that we can actually start being in person again. Rule books, directories, and they also pay for the stipends of everybody in this association that negotiates with our clients, maintains our website, provides weekly email correspondence, maintains a written record of all of our meetings, and collects and distributes payments for officiating services. Those members that receive a stipend are available to you via email or phone should you have a concern. And you get the yellow book tonight, so you have all of our contact information. Nothing is managed outside of our association. Nothing. We do everything in-house. The executive board itself, those 8 people plus the 3 officers, 4 this year, excuse me, past president, will represent you so long as you're a dues-paying member. You have a concern, email one of us. We will address it at an executive board meeting. And again, all our contact is in the book. We have numerous subcommittees that benefit you in the association. We have a negotiating committee. We have a nominating committee. We have an audit committee, which audits me every year. We have a professional development committee, a recruitment committee, a communications committee, and the dinner committee. All of which are usually staffed by executive board members, but we are always looking for volunteers to help. Benefits of paying dues. You are an independent contractor once you've paid your dues with this association. What that means is you not only have the potential to work meets that Mike Marr assigned, the big invitationals on the weekend, the big college meets, such as that, you also have the ability to work numerous smaller scale meets with the leagues. But I caution you, you're an independent contractor. That means it's your responsibility to figure out how much you get paid at that meet, how long it'll take you to get paid for that meet, who will pay you for that meet. So just be aware of that. I do not manage the leagues. I do not govern how much you get paid. Different leagues pay more than others. Some pay less. Some take a long time to pay. Some pay quickly. It's your responsibility as independent contractors to figure that out. But you can do that once you're a member in good standing. Let's see. All I do is, well, not all I do. One of the things I do is I manage the speed of payment for the meets that you get assigned by Mike. Those big invitational meets with the MSTCA, big college invitational meets on the weekend. That's what I manage. Your dues also help the negotiating committee, one of which gets a stipend, who contracts with all of our clients each year and agrees upon payment scale and timeliness. So again, your dues help pay for someone to negotiate on your behalf for all of those meetings. What don't your dues cover? This is what you don't get with your dues. You are, again, you're an independent contractor. You have to negotiate your own pay with schools and leagues or whatever, or negotiate your services with those people. We do not do that for you. Your dues do not automatically provide you membership with USATF or certify you as a USATF official. Further, any background checks required by the MIAA or the USATF are not covered by your dues. That's your responsibility. So, the biggest benefit of paying your dues is you're covered by insurances. We buy insurance every year. It costs us $4,200. It's one of the biggest expenses we have. But it's very important. If you are injured or someone is injured as a result of something that you didn't do correct. You allowed people to get too close to the javelin, someone gets hit with a javelin, someone gets hit with a hammer, things like that. So there's 2 types of policies that we have. We have professional liability, which gives us $2 million aggregate per year with a limit of $1 million per claim. In other words, someone gets seriously injured and has some significant loss of work time, big medical payments. That helps cover that. We also have, as part of that, a rider for abuse and molestation coverage. Hopefully I don't have to go into that. We also have accident coverage, which covers you personally. You are injured as a result of something that happened in an event. Someone drops a shot put on your foot or something like that. And that covers, with a maximum benefit, each of you for $15,000. And this all happens after your primary insurance has done its magic. Then you would come, and this is supplemental insurance, okay? We've put 2 claims, there have been 2 claims against our insurance in the last 5 years. The very first question they ask, is this person current on their dues? Is this person a member of your association? If I answer no, there goes the claim, all right? Very important that you pay your dues. In the last page, I just summarized all of our expenses from year to year. And quite frankly, it comes down to we need about 260 people or 250 people to pay their dues every year. That was a very brief discussion of how our association works, and I'm more than happy to discuss it with you at any time. Again, DonKirkland@gmail.com. And this write-up that I was just reading from is on my desk right now. Feel free to stop by after the meeting and grab it. Okay? Any questions? Mark? Have I completely swept through this yet?
Thank you, Don. We asked Don to put this together to try to help answer some questions, anticipate some, answer the questions that have been asked in the past, and so we got to see it in advance. It's really a pretty good document, so if you have questions and you didn't have it, take it. It's helpful. Michael, Commissioner's report. Please.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back here. I wish we were out doing a cross-country or a track meet though. I'm going to go over the cross-country schedule. We had 4 meets, or we have 4 meets. We already have one, coast to coast. And all these meets are at Franklin Park. And then on this Saturday, we have the College New England's. And then on the, last Saturday in October, we have the meet, the League of Northeast is in there running their championship there. And then on Friday, November 12th, we have NCAA division regional qualifier hosted by UMass Lowell, but it's going to be at Franklin Park. And that's basically it. And we know that the state coaches have many meets, and I think those meets have been covered. Moving on to indoors, usually at this time of the year, everyone already has their availability sheet in their hands for the winter schedule. We have a schedule made up, and I want to thank Rich Hickey, who always does a wonderful job putting that thing together. I don't know what I'd do without him. He's a great kid, works hard, teaches them all the Catholic. If you don't believe he works hard, just ask him, he'll tell you. So anyway, we're obviously in negotiations right now with the state coaches. And in my personal opinion, whatever happened last year, it's over. But it never should have happened. There's no way that should have happened last year. No way in America. Because first of all, the only people that get hurt are the kids, because as we know, we're there for the kids. Even though I get reports that some officials yell at the kids. Well, there's a difference between talking and raising your voice. Right now my voice is raised, because if I didn't have it raised, most people couldn't hear me. You go to a track meet at Reggie Lewis or outdoors, the place is packed with people. And if I'm talking to Tom Lincoln, who's sitting right in the front row, I gotta raise my voice if I want to talk to him. And some people think that is yelling. I'm not yelling, I'm raising my voice. Obviously, the officials will be notified that you gotta speak softly from now on. You can't raise your voice to the kids. And I fully understand a kid gets embarrassed if he's yelled at, or he thinks he's being yelled at, but that's really not the case, in my opinion. Because if a kid is, if we're running the hurdles at Reggie Lewis and a kid accidentally, or what, is not paying attention, and that happens a lot with young high school kids not paying attention to track. And they walk across the infield and the race is going on. Are you supposed to say, hey, stop? No, I think you gotta yell at the kid, don't you? So, enough of that. So anyway, once we get the schedule sent out, I want you to send it back to me as soon as possible. And I know it's early. I'm asking you if you can work a meet on February 27th. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, never mind February 27th. And, you know, just fill it out. If you think you're available, put it down. And obviously things change after your wife, you tell your wife on February 1st, oh, we're gonna meet February 27th. We have a wedding that day, hon. You can't go to a track meet. And that happens a lot, obviously, but just do the best you can, get it back to me. Normally I wait till I get about 30 responses before I start filling them out. And I do it very quickly. And normally, sometimes we get officials who want to send me the sheet January 15th. Oh, why don't you wait till the season's over before you send me the sheet? And that happens. I mean, everything's booked up by January 15th. Everything's usually booked up by January 1st. The only time there's an opening is when the person can't make a meet. So do the best you can, and we hope to be back to Reggie Lewis for a lot of meets this winter. Anybody have any questions for me? Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Dennis?
For those who don't know me, my name is Dennis Berry. I am the recording secretary of the association. That's why I'm over there taking the minutes and so forth. By the way, I believe I got the names of just about everybody in the room. I'll put the list out. If you didn't get, if you didn't see me get your name tonight, I'll be here. Stop by. Just give me your name. Take your mask down. Some people give me their names. Take the mask down. It's noisy. That's my speech. Okay, on the bylaws. I made a number of copies of bylaws. I hope there's enough around that you can see them. Not a lot of changes this year. We did notice a couple of things. We noticed a little anomalies. We noticed that the president didn't have a term, so we put the presidents in there for 2 years. Steve really wanted to have more time as president, right, Steve? And then we also found that the area members, or the north and south members of the executive board, were not elected. They were actually supposed to be appointed. We changed that a little bit so that now they're appointed. There's been a couple little things in there that noted for me. There's maybe some wording changes. We now have, you can't be a member of the executive board unless you've been a member for 3 years. So that's like 3 years beyond the executive board, so we put that in there. We changed the apparel manager. Is now appointed by the executive board and does not purchase, according to the bylaws where they're written, the apparel manager was taking care of purchasing the directories and purchasing the rule books. Well, that's been done by the treasurer for a long time, so we just sort of made a statement that what's done is that's the way it's been done. Those are really the changes that made. Again, nothing revolutionary. A couple of years ago we made some significant changes. I don't think we made any significant changes this year that are really going to rock the association. So, if someone would make Mr. Chairman, if the chair would like to ask for a motion, we need a 2/3 vote. So if we have to go to a hand count, we'll do that. By the way, I am the moderator of the town I live in, so I'm used to 2/3 votes. So, would anyone like to have my explanation by a count of 2/3 vote? No. Okay, Mr. President.
First of all, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we have a quorum.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the changes to the bylaws as written with the liberty to move a word or two around.
With an editorial change that we've discussed.
I'll
Yes.
make that motion.
I'll tell you, Tom picked up a good change. The way there is in the section 6, is it 5.4, the at-large members, they said they're now elected. I wrote it from among the membership at the spring meeting. It should be still elected at the spring meeting from among the membership. His point was that it could be read to say you had to be at the spring meeting. That was not the intent. The intent was that you have to be elected from the membership and the election takes place at the spring meeting. So just going to reverse those phrases. That's the editorial change. With that small change, we have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to call the speaker can't take the vote. It's the presiding officer.
Thanks. I didn't even have to ask for a second. We got one.
Yeah, I got a second.
Good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Did we get 2/3?
Opposed?
Motion
Any
accepted.
opposed? Any opposed?
You have to ask a question.
I do have to ask.
Unanimous.
No, and are there any questions? We didn't do that.
They're different.
He wasn't yelling at us.
Thank you. You see, the thing is that in the town I'm moderator, we just do it by little hand sets.
It's still rural.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have our new equipment manager to give a report and to identify himself. David, where are you? David Johns.
There he is. He needs a new phone.
So, we have a lot of stuff left over from our past apparel manager that I'd like to try to work a bit through and then see where we're at. I've got some vests, some long sleeve pullovers here tonight. I've got some polo shirts. I've got some long sleeve fleeces, I believe. I also have a plethora of the yellow raincoats. They're not the yellow jackets. I have to order yellow jackets. I have to order the regular hats we used to get. So if you need anything, you can come check out what I have tonight, or otherwise shoot me an email, say what you'd be interested in, and I'll let you know what the timetable is on that kind of stuff. But I will make sure we have regular yellow jackets available for the spring, and plenty of the other stuff. All right? So any questions on that, you can come see me over there, or again, shoot me an email. All the info's on the website. But it's davejohns@comcast.net.
Thank you, David. I'm going to, because I know you got a school, so let's, under new business, you want to give a quick,
On the Reggie?
yeah, on the Reggie and the parking passes.
Okay. Really quick, as far as the Reggie Lewis Center, two things. A lot of folks have been asking about the parking passes. Because there only maybe just track meets this season at the Reggie Lewis Center, Sherman may not issue any. I mean, you guys might be the only game in town. In other words, there's no events. It's just going to be track meets. So if that changes, Sherman will let us know and get his passes by the December meeting. But right now, he feels that he may not have to issue. You'll be the only people parking at the Reggie Lewis Center because there's no other events, period. So, but if that changes, Sherman said he'll let me know. And if they do go with some kind of parking pass, it'll be you get them at the December meeting, which is before the first meet anyway. So, okay. Really quickly on the Reggie Lewis Center, I just don't want to get my blood pressure up. Just for you, some of you that don't know, I've sent out the report. I think I've seen the report to Mark and a select few people. That place was neglected, big time. So much so that the people who did the HVAC built the systems in my building, and they got the contract to get that center online for as an inoculation center. Long story short, I got the report from DCAM who ran it, and also the second report that gave the bills invoices. It took $342,000 worth of work to get that building online. And you guys are witness, and that building was in tough shape before COVID because you guys witnessed cold or too hot. They didn't have people in place that knew how to run. I'm not patting myself on the back. You can come, you guys didn't get, when you came to bowling, you didn't get to see what was up on the 7th and 8th floor. I have 5 air handlers. Reggie Lewis has 1. The systems in my building are way sophisticated. So much we have UV lighting that kills any airborne particles in our building. But there's no reason why that building should have been in that shape. So, and that's $342,000 in counting. And the building is completely closed. It's like stagnant. You can't let systems like that sit like that right now. So that's my concern. So I'm trying to work with this guy. Hopefully, this guy, Jerry Foster, who's kind of taken over. He used to be with Northeastern. He works for Ansar Engineering. We just want to try to make him a little comfortable in at least getting things going. There's no cleaning, there's nothing. The building's just sitting there now. And you just you spent all this money to get it up to speed. And there's still a few things that still need to be fixed. You know, the guys, Boston Mechanical, who did the work, did the HVAC work, just told me the other day, because they do service on my building all the time, just PM service, that they're worried that there might be heat in the back gym. And what happens in the back gym at some of the big meets, it's a place where we register our athletes, or, you know, it's a clerking area. So myself and a couple people behind the scenes are trying to, you know, just gonna make them accountable. I just hope that facility is ready to go in November, because Boston Public Schools have to go in there next month at least to practice before they go. That's their practice facility, and then the building goes on with the first meet, I guess the first Saturday in December, the Suffolk home meet. Okay? I just wanted to get, but any questions, I'm going to hold the time up, any questions you have about the center and where it's going and stuff, and like I said, they better be ready to go when we come in there. Just you have my email, you have, I'm in the directory, just direct those questions to me. Okay?
Steve Vitonis here. Do you want you come on up, Steve? I skipped over that because Steve's got to go.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is getting inducted to the Hall of Fame for Rutgers tomorrow, and I got something tonight. Yeah.
So, for any of you that don't know, Steve Vitonis as the chief cook and bottle washer for USA Track and Field New England, and a whole bunch of other things. So, whatever you want to tell the assembled mass.
Sure. Those of you who are USA Track and Field certified officials, you know that this past year, 2021, has been the start of the renewal process for the 4-year period. There were some hiccups in the new membership system that started in 2020. I've helped a lot of people get through that. In the long term, that new system is going to work very well because it's going to link and connect everything from your membership to your background screening to your safe sport, and it'll be easier for us on a local level to do emailing of notices of meets and other opportunities. Our New England Association chairman for officials is Bob Jadari. He's from New Hampshire. He's already sent out a good number of messages over the last couple of months to keep people up to date on what's available, what issues that have come up, and how to apply for any sort of national meets. If anybody has any problems or wants to be looking to being a USATF official, which is needed for certain meets, certain events, Boston Marathon officials all need to be certified. Contact me. I'm in the directory and I'm in the office all the time, except for coming to meetings like this. We had some people who were certified and went out to not only some local meets that we were able to put on, but went out to national meets like the National Scholastic Championships, the Olympic Trials. Several went down to the Youth Nationals and the Junior Olympic Nationals. Those youth meets and masters meets for age 30 and up are great opportunities to see a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see locally, and it's a good way to network and just talk with people from around the country to learn a little bit more about how other people do things, how other associations operate, everything from meetings to fees to getting involved in the sport as a whole. So again, anybody's interested, send me a message and I'll get it back to you within a day.
Thank you, Steve. Steve, is that going to be a 4-year or 3-year?
4-year through the end of 2024. It's Olympiad.
I get that.
In the strict 4-year sense, not a 5 and 3.
Okay. So under new business, we already heard from Steve about the Reggie Lewis parking passes and Reggie Lewis itself, which is why we're not there. They're just closed through the end of this month anyway. The officials clinic, we're working, the current vice president who is working this afternoon is working on trying to get a couple of facilities so we can have clinics in person as opposed to trying to do them, I don't know really how you do them virtually. But somebody will tell you you can, but I think it's, anyhow, we're working on it, trying to get a place where we can get some stuff going. And I know that, like Brian Moody, who's commissioner for the Bay State League, has a lot of stuff that he's done with the officials that work the Bay State League, putting stuff together. He's got lots of good ideas. So they'll get to be presented when we get to have a clinic. And I think league commissioners are next. So I know Steve Kiley is here, and anybody else who wants to, because I'm not sure who they all are. Steve, and is there anybody else who's a commissioner here for a league? Johns is from Merrimack Valley. So just come on up after Steve.
So I have leagues down in New Bedford that run at Greater New Bedford Vote. I got a couple of leagues that run at Wheaton College in Norton. And I have 2 leagues that hopefully are running in Reggie Lewis this year, the South Shore League and Patriot League. Those have worked for me before. Should have gotten an email Sunday with the availability sheets as best as we know when those dates are at least. We're still trying to figure out how many officials and teams and other things. I have a few sheets tonight, but if I run out of them and people give me their email, I'm happy to email them availability, because we've had some people that have retired. We've had some people that, because of the COVID, are choosing not to participate in indoor meets, even though they'll do outdoor and they've done cross-country. So can certainly use the help probably in all 3 locations, so feel free to see me after the meeting.
David, you want to go?
Merrimack Valley, we have 3 dates right now: December 22nd, January 5th, January 12th. These will all be at Boston University, starting at 4 o'clock, starting on all Wednesdays. I am looking up quickly. Our championship meet is February 11th at Reggie, God willing. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know.
Was somebody back here?
My name is Dean Satch. I take care of...
I apologize for not recognizing you, but the mask got me, Dean. Sorry.
Northeastern Conference, Greater Boston, and Cape Ann. So if you're interested in doing any of those meets up in the North Shore area, I know Cape Ann comes into Reggie. Greater Boston will be Medford, Everett, Malden, Chelsea, Somerville. If you're interested in any of that, just shoot off an email to me. I have no dates yet from any of those. Excellent.
Lucky you. I know that the Bay State League has sent out, Brian, did you want to say anything?
I think we just kind of like engaged on it, what shakes out with
Brian is the commissioner for the Bay State. I've heard from Frank Calori, who does the dual county. I know I saw Brian back here. No, well, okay, Jim. And then, but I know Brian Van Dorf is too. But go ahead.
Jim Morris, I'm the signer for the Tri-Valley League. We have 5 dates at Reggie, already set. The league meet. Most of them are pretty much covered at this point, but the main thing we need is springtime. We are desperate for people in spring. I have the Cape and Islands League as well as the Tri-Valley League. Anybody who's interested in working, send me an email or talk to me or whatever. I'm in the book, Jim Morris at jmorris@ugmail. I'll also speak with Dennis People, who's not here tonight. We also can use people on the hotline. So if you need to work, give us a call, let us know. We're definitely
We have 8 dates in the Reggie Lewis Center. We're pretty well covered there. We'll be looking for spring dates, and that's the Catholic Central League, and we're sort of all over the place. We go as far north as Bishop Fenwick and Austin Prep, as far south as Bishop Bean and Archbishop Williams. So once I get those dates, I'll get them up.
Okay, is there anyone else? The lead commissioner assigned. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask that they didn't ask? Are you all set? Johnny? Okay, then there's another motion I could entertain.
Make a motion to conclude the meeting.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. I'm going to say that was at least 2, which we didn't need.
Joe, did you ever get paid for that meeting? Huh? Did you ever get paid for that meeting?
For Wilmington, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, finally. About 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.